Okay, so we're going to wrap up the melodic D series here, the four-part, with an application to a melody. The melody that leaps to my mind immediately where I can use this four-note melodic D pathway to great effectiveness is in a song, a fiddle song like Whiskey Before Breakfast. And everybody's pretty much familiar with this song if you've been in this kind of music for a reasonable amount of time. So since the B part of the song is where we can find a practical application for this four-note D scale, I'm going to just kind of hold off on doing anything major for the part one. If you're already familiar with the tune, maybe you play an improvised Scruggs version or a combination of Scruggs and single string, or maybe even melodic. If you do a melodic version of the whole tune, then probably you don't need this video anyway. But for those of you who maybe doodle around with this song, maybe play a Scruggs version, and you're getting into melodic style, you're going to see how this four-note melodic scale works great for Part B to actually allow you to play the complete melody. So if you wanted to play with a fiddle player and you guys wanted to play the melody exactly together at the same time, the four-note D scale will help you do that. And it's really, really effective. So for Part 1, I'm going to assume maybe that you already have a version worked up, or you have some Scruggs stuff that you roll through. Let me just sketch out the melody for you for Part A. And I'm going to use single string style so that I don't have any other notes of rolls or anything to distract you. This is just the melody, stated pretty simply. So you play that twice, and that's Part A. Again, if you do a Scruggs version or something, I just want you to, know exactly where we're getting ready to go next. Now, here's where Part 2 comes up, and here's what I'll do to simplify it. I'm just going to do a double pull here on the third string, open fourth, pinch 1 and 2 together while I do this slide into a D note. Now, here I'm going to use the single note version of a D scale in a fragment form. 1, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I'm sorry, 1, 1, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. And that's D, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, E, D. So I'm just using that little small section in single note form. And then open B gets me to the next section of the song, which is rhythmically an E minor. So this little section that I played is actually over a D. Da, 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 da. And then the B note leads me into the melody as it's played over an E minor chord. Now again, there's an E minor chord in the chord progression of the D. It's listed as the 2 chord, which is usually a minor. So E minor is, logically the first minor chord that you encounter if you're counting out the chords that appear in the key of D. So I can use the scale notes for D to help me play that part of the melody too. So when I leave this, the D section, come up, there's a little hook over the melody, a little section that people recognize, and that's played with E, F sharp, and G. 2, 1, 5, 1, 2. So again, these are D scale notes. Now here's where the big descending scale comes in. Now I could play this with a fiddle player if we work this out in advance and I listen to his version. And I determined this is what he's doing, because this is traditionally the way you could play the entire second half of the B part. Now you notice I played that verbatim. You may hear some players break this up so that it more closely matches the chords of the song. The chords we're playing this over is D, A, G, D, D, A, back to D. So all this long convoluted scale playing is basically the melody as it flows over those chord changes. So if I wanted to emphasize the chords a little more strongly and let people's ear focus on these fragments that I'm playing, instead of playing just a verbatim scale, I could break at certain points and put a rest there, and then go to some other style, or and what that does is break that long scale up into something that is more easily relatable, if I can spit that out, to the exact chords that I'm playing over. So again, that's a taste option, and if you're playing with a fiddle player, if you guys wanted to play in unison the melody over the second half of the tune, then you would have to listen to the fiddle player. He or she would have to listen to you, and you guys would have to work out exactly how this melody is going to flow. But that's two options that leap to mind. You can play the melody verbatim as a scale, and that would work great. And that scale would be a great soloing tool, Or you could decide to break the scale up and then maybe do single string, or and maybe break into scruggs or something. It's up to you how you want to do this, but that is one way where you can see in actual practice where a scale can be used verbatim in a fiddle tune. So that's going to wrap it up. So try using that in Whiskey Before Breakfast, and again, experiment with it. Use different fragments. You can use 2-note, single note, 4-note, mix them up, and you can come up with a really killer version of this song. So I'll just play this as I go out, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.